Well, here I am in a totally different spot to the one I'm usually in, which is at home. I'm here on a break. I started taking breaks years ago when I realized that I'm not getting any breaks. I'm constantly mommying, and my husband gets breaks, so when do I get a break? When do I get a rest? He has holidays, leave days, and public holidays as well. What about me? Surely everybody, no matter what job they're doing, deserves a break. It began when I was in deep postnatal depression, and it has continued on, sometimes not as often. Well, in the beginning it was every month I'd go to a friend, but now my silly friends have left the country and some have left the province, so I don't have any friends I can go to who have space and get me. So here I am in a hotel. It is interesting in a sad way. Whenever I go for breaks, I go for mental and physical relief. Whenever I go for breaks, I go for mental and physical relief. I definitely get a lot of the physical because I'm lying down, I'm not putting pressure on my knees, I'm not putting pressure on my SI joints. I rest the sore bones. So I get a huge amount of rest from being away. Mental, yes, in a way I actually do. I always think of the children, I always wonder what they're doing, but I'm not with them. I'm not being pulled by any child. I don't hear any screaming, so I definitely get a mental rest. But as I said last week, what difference will these days make? Because I will go back and it will be the same assault. It's not mommying, it's mommying on steroids, and I don't even have the strength for it. Also, physically, there's been no break. The pain has not dissipated. I lie down, still the same pain. I stand up, still the same pain. I take a walk, I regret it. 6 minutes of walking and I'm dragging my leg, dragging it. By the time I come back, I'm dragging both legs and my knee is sore on one side and the foot has joined the other, besides the pain at the pelvis and at the back. There's just been absolutely no relief from pain, and this is on an extra dose, double dose of pain medication and extra dose of anti-inflammatory. I'm at my wit's end. If nothing has improved by the 4th injection, I will write to my rheumatologist and tell her we need to do something else. I did my 3rd injection last week. I didn't get sick. I managed to avoid the dreaded flu that swept through my entire family. I didn't get sick, so I did inject, and here I am. Last night, what happens is, okay, not last night, what happens is, but let me go back. What happens is, if you're a new time person, this will be new to you, but I tend to have nightmares when I'm in pain. If I do finally fall asleep, my sleep is horrible and scary. It's bad. I have sad dreams, scary dreams when I am in pain. It's like my brain is saying, I'm suffering. So it gives me nightmares. At first, it only used to happen when I was recovering from surgery. But now, as the AS has become worse, it has also become more. It's like almost every night I have a bad dream. I don't even bother telling my husband that, oh my word, this time I dreamt this, because it's going to be every night. But last night I dreamt about my dear aunt who loved me so much. And I dreamt about my father, and they were both dead, and I was just so sad. But when I woke up, I thought, but they're free. They're free of the things that they were suffering, and I will be free too. And I just thought I'd write this. I want you to also give more context to what I've written. I've got some friends who say, oh, you've got such a beautiful smile. I'll never be able to tell that you're not well. I've got a friend who I give clothes to, and she said, you make me look like a lady. I can't translate that into direct English, but it's like you've made me dignified. You've given me dignity. People tell me I look good, and so some of the lines are directed to those people. I will get this done, read this, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty, which is times and lives of my bit of the Cape, which isn't really much because I don't go around much, but I have had 2 conversations with people which touch on my life and the life that I blog about, the life that I vlog, talk about on here. So yes, I'll come back to that and our life in general as a special needs family, what we did, what we've been up to. Yeah. When I am dead, don't mourn for me. I've found peace and been set free. No more to smile and share a grin, while inside I'm truly suffering. When I am dead, don't mourn for me. Behind these smiles you love to see, there is a woman ever in pain. No rest from it, all night, all day. When I am dead, don't mourn for me. My daughter and friends, my clothes I leave, for you especially, who always said, every item I give helps you hold up your head. When I am dead, don't mourn for me. The constant fatigue that never leaves is ever with me. Sometimes I can't speak. Oh, the peace I will gain when no help need I seek. When I am dead, don't mourn for me. My children I'll leave, hoping God will be the mother and carer they need forever when death our hearts and bodies has severed. When I am dead, don't mourn for me. My heart from sorrow and strain will be free. I tried to live. I tried to be strong. I tried to be healthy. But this is my song. When I am dead, don't mourn for me. I'll be free from pain, from neck to knees. No more worry about each child's condition. The rest I've begged for will have come to fruition. When I am dead, don't mourn for me. Mourn for my children. I was the best I could be. The hugs, the chats, the research I did will leave them big wounds. Oh God, forbid. When I am dead, don't mourn for me, for I'll finally from this body be set free. It's the ones who will live who need your tears, the ones who loved me through all of these years. When I am dead, don't mourn for me. Know that it's not how I wanted it to be. Yes, I'll be free from infirmity, but I wanted to see God, angels, come for me. When I am dead, don't mourn for me. I wanted to live, the second coming to see, but it wasn't to be. Here I lie, still and gone. Remember my stories, remember my songs. Don't mourn for me. When I die, I hope you will play that at my funeral. I don't really want a funeral service. Anyway, let's move on. Let us change the topic. So, I am a homeschooling mother of 6 children. Some weeks ago, I went to a chemist, Dischem pharmacy. You know, the pharmacy is at the back, the dispensary is at the back, and then you go through the aisles where they sell you all the other things. I was going to an aisle with my son, Mikaya, and he's so sweet. He makes me laugh. Autism is sweet sometimes, and global developmental delay when they come together and you have that concrete thinking is sweet. So we had just come from his blood test. The phlebotomist tells him, all right, I'm going to check which side has a good vein. She was walking him through the entire process bit by bit. So he says to her, well, there's a vein right here you can use. It's a nice vein. And I thought, oh, it doesn't really work that way. But yes, she did find a vein in one of his arms. So we came from that, and that's when we had met that Karen. That was the day a woman asked a worker at Discam, she asked my son, why aren't you in school? Are you sick? So he processed a while and then he said, I'm homeschooled. Oh boy, we shouldn't have gone down her aisle. She would not stop talking. She wouldn't stop talking. She talked about how she thought homeschooling was expensive and she doesn't know anybody in her area. She lives in Atlantis. Do I know Atlantis perhaps? So I thought, oh yeah, I know Atlantis. I know of Atlantis. I've even looked for houses in Atlantis. But it seemed there were too many criminal people who look criminal hanging around, even on the farm on the outskirts of Atlantis. I know Atlantis. Atlantis is predominantly a colored area, a poor colored area. So yes, I know Atlantis. She said no one in Atlantis homeschools, and yet we could do it. It's only the mothers here, as in here in the white suburb, who homeschool. So she always thought it was super, super expensive. Otherwise, why would white people, except for me, be homeschooling? It must be too expensive, much more expensive than school. So I told her that, well, not with my type of homeschooling, which is the legal format. Like the legal definition of homeschooling in South Africa is a mother or father teaching their child in the home, or a grandparent teaching their own child or grandchild in their own home, not an online school where you're sitting and someone else is teaching, someone else is making up tests, someone else. So I told her, with the way I'm doing it, it's not that expensive. We all buy textbooks for all our children, I think. I don't know how government works, but we all buy textbooks anyway for our children. So that's a typical and normal expense. I don't have uniforms to pay for. I don't have to pay for extra for any outings. I just pay for fuel when I go out with them. And that's it. That's really the only financial outlay, except for extras, extra resources, extra hands-on things, extra Play-Doh, that kind of thing. But it doesn't come to the same cost as this other friend I had whose child was online schooling. So she would just dump her child in front of the computer and then she was learning. Their fees were 25,000 Rand a month. I don't come to 25,000 Rand a month, even in a month where I've bought things for all 6 children. Things, books, or, toys, educational toys, or toys my non-verbal, non-communicating via speech girl uses. It has never come to even 12,000 Rand. So no, it's cheaper than online schooling, for me at least. So yeah, we discussed that, and she was saying that it's sad that not many people do consider homeschooling. Her children hated school. One is in school and she hates school. There's a white customer who comes and her child goes to a private school, whereas children go to government school. And even there, can you imagine? And it's expensive. Most private schools are expensive, as she said. But even he is under so much pressure that the mother is always coming in to buy him calming tea, calming this, soothing this, because his mind is so stressed. The teachers give the children way too much work and it needs to be done too soon, and they forget that, I added, and they forget that their subject is not the only subject that the child is doing. So she was saying, if we could have it flexible, if we could look at each child and what they're capable of doing, how they learn, what they're able to process, it would be so much better. So that was interesting. It was interesting that was her take on homeschooling. And it was sad that there is that you have to be rich to afford to homeschool. What you do need is to be able to live on a single income. And given the rate of unemployment of women in Atlantis, I think many of them are already on a single income anyway. So that's the sad part. So yes, that was an interesting conversation. I like how, this is South Africa. We will never be able to be blind to race. There are certain things that only certain races do. There are certain things only certain races suffer. Next talk on homeschooling was a person who was in my house. A few months ago, my daughter, who doesn't speak to communicate, I really can't define it, because she does say elephant, cat, elephant, meow, ooh, pig, pink pig. She says random things. She blurts out things. When she wants cereal, she'll say cereal, but she's not saying, Mom, I love you, or Mom, where are you, or Mommy, or calling anyone. So she's speaking, but she's not speaking. So my speaking, but not communicating with speech generally, child, she had stayed home, and her big brother had come back with her. They'd gone on their walk, and then she decided to turn back. So he turned back with her, and then the other 3 siblings was 4? My girl, and Amrisa, who's 9, Mikaya, who's 8, and my other twin daughter, who's 4, Urinela, so that's 4. My other 4 were still walking, and then it started to rain. And I said to my son, well, it didn't start, the clouds became ominous. And I said to him, I think it's going to rain. Get Rati into the car, because she loves the car. So there she will not refuse. So she got into the car, and I said to him, go and get your siblings so that they don't get rained on. So he went to find them. As he's pulling up behind them, just a block away from our street, he sees a man in a B-class Mercedes-Benz, and the children are talking to him, or he's talking to the children. He couldn't tell what, but they were all talking. And when they saw him, they ran to the car. When the children saw their brother, they get in and they tell him that this man, just for the purposes of, so you can picture the scene, he was an Indian man, and he had come up behind them, driven next to them, and asked them if they want to go and have fun. So they said, no. And he said, no, but don't you want to come with me? Let's get into my car, and we'll go to the arcade at Canal Walk at Century City, and we'll go play there at the amusement park. Don't you want to come? And they said, no. And he said, but aren't you bored? And they're like, no, go. So what happened is, when he saw my son pulling behind him, he even waved him past, like, okay, you can, overtake me and keep going. No, that's not right. So the children were really happy that Big Brother had come to rescue them. After that, I did try and stay with my girl, but sometimes they would go for walks when I'm recording a video, or when I'm really in too much pain to do anything. And I still have to muster the strength to still make supper thereafter. So sometimes I just can't. I can't handle her. And now that their pulling has increased, I really can't handle her and how sick I am. So sometimes he does stay with her. So I thought, I'm going to buy mace. I looked for pepper spray online. I'm going to leave all my little mouth issues in this video, because I think it looks kind of choppy when I don't. I'm going to just leave it as it is, let it flow or not flow. So I bought them what turned out to be tear gas, CS gas, tear gas. Told my girl, be careful, make sure if you spray him in the eye. And then 2 Fridays ago, in the morning, our alarm went off, our fence alarm, our electric fence. We installed an electric fence when we moved in. That's South Africa for you. We'd never had an electric fence in Kenya. We never even thought of having one, nor in Tanzania, even more, not even in the UK. Look, South Africa is the only place where we have felt we need security, because we know what's going on. So we installed an electric fence when we bought our house, and so the fence started ringing, the alarm. My son went to turn it off, and then when he went around the house to check what set it off, was it a branch, he found that someone basically had been testing to see if the alarm is actually activated and working. They had put the cement thing together on rope, and they'd thrown it over, so that obviously the rope has weight, so that it then touches the fence, makes them, touch and see if the alarm will ring. And they tried further down as well, along another part of our fence. In the afternoon, that same day, my 4 had gone again for a walk, and they came back and they said that man was there again. the Merc B-Class Mercedes-Benz man. They'd been walking, and my eldest daughter noticed a car behind them. So she glanced and she saw, oh, there he is again. But then when the children noticed him, and the middle two, they pointed at him, and then he kind of sped up to keep driving behind them. When they came to a crossroads, they ran round a specific corner where he wouldn't have been able to tell which direction they'd taken. And the image of my children running from some criminal who has bad designs. South Africa is terrible. Well, all crime, wherever you have crime, it's terrible. Wherever you are, where you can't just take a walk, you can't go to the playground. And these people, they don't care whether you're an adult or a child. They will kidnap you no matter what you are, male or female. But we do know mostly it's the females who are in trouble. So there was one reason why this next thing happened, the safety issue. If we can get the children to play more in our garden, they won't need to go out to the playground as often. They won't need to take walks as often because they'll be more active in the yard. Secondly, my daughter, my 4-year-old, severely autistic, level 3 autistic, intellectually impaired 4-year-old, I think from now on I'll call her my intellectually impaired autistic to differentiate her from the others. Though my son is also intellectually delayed, but his level of delay is not as bad as my poor girl's is. So when she goes to the playground, you might have watched the video where people were calling her stupid for standing right in front of the swings as the children wanted to swing, and getting upset when she was being moved to safety. So that I didn't like that. That was when I first thought we need to get our own playground then no one will ever dare say such horrible things about my precious child. So that was the second reason. Playing in safety, in terms of emotional safety. And thirdly, when they want to leave the park, the twins both lose it. She screams loudly, big time, and doesn't stop screaming. Her twin first begins with, no, just 5 more minutes. I said, just 5 more minutes. No, just 5 more minutes. And then she also joins in with the screaming and the crying. And besides the stress it puts on whoever has taken them to the playground, I don't want to be known as, oh, that family with those children. So I told my husband, we need to get a playground for the children. So we did. We organized, or I found a place that will put in a jungle gym, monkey bars, 2 tire swings, slide in our yard. And that happened last week. So last week, and there were also the alarm people, because I told my husband that I don't feel comfortable because yes, the alarm rang. So there's people who were trying to see if the alarm is working. They know that it does ring, but they also know that there was no help coming. So I said I want to link the alarm to a security armed response security company, so that when the alarm rings, they will come immediately. They will also phone me, and I want to get panic buttons so that if someone bursts through our front door, like leading out our front gate, we can press panic and hopefully someone will come quickly. I don't ever want what happened to Mr. Herbert, it's his first name, to ever happen to any of us. That the suffering that man went through. I've never been beaten, I've never been punched, I've never been kicked, and I don't want to be. Multiple times till you lose consciousness. I don't want that for any of my children. So that was the same week when the people came to also install the security system, link it to the offices, etc. So I laughed because my girl is sometimes extremely, obviously, special needs, neurodivergent. You can tell she is neurodivergent. Like, really. She made me laugh when two men were walking out, and we're walking behind them quietly, and then suddenly and she runs after behind them like she's gonna grab them. And I thought, well, I would have gone on a huge fright and thought, oh my word, this child is going to attack us. But they walked on. But that's how she is. 1 minute she's quiet, and then the next minute she's like, la, 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 or whatever noises she makes. I can't even mimic them. They're her own special noises. So it's not, you can't miss that she is special needs. On the first day of installation of this whole swing thing, I was teaching my son. The man stood there for a while. He wanted to ask questions. And I explained to my son something, and then he asked my oldest son, not me. I mean, he asked me if he can use the loo. So I told him, okay, there's the toilet. And then he asked me he asked my oldest son if I run a daycare center. I love that. I love having such a big family that it's not normal to have such a big family that you will not assume it's a family. But no, yeah, my son told him, no, it's not a daycare center. We're all one lovely, happy, sometimes, family. So Friday, this weekend, with this last week, he comes to fix something, sort something out with the installation of the play set. He says to me, is your little girl, one of your little children, is she ADHD or something? So I said to him, yes, she's autistic, the one who makes noises. And he said, yes, her. So I told him, yes, she's autistic. She's one of a few who are autistic. And yes, we're pretty sure she has ADHD, but we can't assess her at the moment. But we're all, as in the professionals, are also sure that she does have ADHD. So he told me that one of his friends, close friend, has a son who is autistic. The son is verbal, he talks, but he always has to rub you while he's talking to you. This is the part that was so funny to me. And autism awareness, it hasn't reached the world. You can be friends with someone who actually has an autistic child and you still don't understand it. So he was saying it's so sad. He feels sorry for the son. He's 19. He feels sorry for the boy because he's homeschooled. He doesn't go out anywhere. He just stays at home. Oh, isn't he having a sad life? He doesn't even go and mingle with girls. And I told him, but actually he's happy. He is happy living that life. He himself, the man, he told me that the boy doesn't like sound. So I told him, yeah, Micaiah also doesn't like sound. I'm even letting him use his dad's noise cancelling headphones. So if the child can't stand sound, sending him out there into a school or anywhere, there's a lot of noise. Micaiah gets terrified when he hears, even from a distance, the sound of a garbage truck or any truck, any vehicle. He starts to shiver. So why would I send a child to school or anywhere where you can't handle sound when on the few times when a large truck, our streets are quiet, but when the few times a large vehicle of some sort comes, it makes him tremble. I wouldn't want him to be out there where he is suffering. So that's what he doesn't understand, that for autistics, the normal world is painful. He himself told me, and there are textures that the son cannot eat and he doesn't like light. So I thought, yes, and then you want to put him in school, the fluorescent light bulbs, or you want to put him out in the sun where the sun is shining bright, he's actually happier. The fact that he doesn't look or act depressed should be a big mark, a big sign anyway, a big flag that he's okay. But it was sad that even when we have friends whose children are autistic, we don't get it. I've seen it amongst my own people. Some I don't even bother mentioning autism at all because they don't get it at all. So they wouldn't get it. And so now I know that they don't get it, but I don't realize how much they don't get. Are they thinking my children are deprived when they don't go to church, when they don't go to wherever? Going to the ocean, on another note, My children went to the ocean. So yes, that was the end of that part. Autistic people are not the same. Their brains don't feel the same as we do, as neurotypicals do. What causes us pleasure may very well cause them intense agony. Let us learn to see them and what they need instead of imputing upon them what suits us. All right, water. My word, people. Autism is a scary disease, disease disorder. So many children drown. My children went to the beach with their dad. I was too sick. I've been too unwell. I've missed most of the beach outings lately. So it was a warm Saturday afternoon. They went to the ocean. Our girl loves the water. She loves the water too much. It's bad. Like, it's scary bad. She will scream like she did when we went to the cat sanctuary, wild cat sanctuary. She will scream because she wants to go in. She doesn't care whether it's shallow or deep, and she can't learn to swim. She can't be taught to swim. And you and I both know riptides will take anyone, the best swimmer or not. They've killed teenagers in dams. Just the ability to swim doesn't mean you're safe anyway. She'll scream to go into water. She wants the water. Many parents know that so many of their children have drowned because of the love of water. They went to the ocean and she just kept wanting to run all the way into the deep. And I thought, okay, that's another avenue closed. There's no way when she's even bigger and stronger, or even now, just because for her, why are they stopping me from having fun? She doesn't know we're keeping her safe. Is it worth the mental torture she's feeling? But I know that for a fact that definitely when she's older, there's no way I will take her anywhere, any garden, any ocean. Because when she's older, she'll be stronger and she will slip out my hands and go drown. Autism, it just goes into every aspect of your life. Conversation with a random man putting swings in your yard, your child's behavior definitely drawing attention, how they behave when they've gone out somewhere. It's everything. It's in everything. And as usual, I'll end with the nice parts. We've been doing school. Okay, it's not the nice part yet. You may recall that I said when we're doing school and I'm teaching all three, one can sit quietly and listen while the other gets helped because they all need to be read to. But my 4-year-old interrupts. She doesn't understand. She cannot control herself. She will say, yes, mommy, I'll be quiet. Mommy, in the same breath. So I thought, okay, I'm going to teach each child one at a time. That way there's no lack of focus, because sometimes even with the older two, I'll be teaching Micaiah and then behind me, Amarissa is dancing and waving at him. So I said, okay, fine. 2 will go to the room and play and I'll teach 1. That is a big fail. It's a big fail because my body cannot handle standing for 3 individual children and their lessons, the different subjects they have. So that I'm going to have to rethink. I actually need help. I need help. But anyway, we had some fun times in school. I'll put videos and voiceover as always because I can't remember what we've done. I do remember this. When I was outside, it's something my girl has now been doing often, my 4-year-old who talks a lot. When I was outside and I was pushing her on the swing and then I said, oh, come get onto my back. And she said, no, Mom, I'll hurt your back. Just like the first daughter in my family. Same thing when she was 3 years old. She said, no, Mom, I'm going to hurt your back. I don't want to get on. I hate that. I hate what AS is taking away from me and the children, the pleasures we could have. So she said, no, Mommy, I'll hurt your back. That's what she said outside. And she rubbed it and she said, I'm going to pray for you. So she prayed for me. And then she kissed my back and said, see, Mommy, we're all better now. It touched me so much. I hope and wish we could all have the child's caring heart and remain with the child's caring heart. some softwares I'd ordered for therapeutic reasons, core muscle strength and arm strength, arrived on Friday. And so I was showing the children how they can play on the things, different methods of gaining strength, etc. And she came behind me, and it was like she always does that. Even if I'm showing them how to crawl, she will come and pat me or tell me I'll keep you safe, or tell me I'm helping you. Who needs help? I don't need help crawling. So she started patting me near the end of my journey, and it was so cute, man. So those are the little moments. I don't share them anymore because they evoke happiness in people, but they don't realize that for me, that happiness is always enrobed in physical pain. There is no happiness anymore. I cannot be happy. I can't be happy because pain takes that away from me. I can enjoy something. I can think, oh, that's so sweet. Ouch. That's how my life is. It doesn't end with, oh, she's so sweet. So I want you to look at my life through that lens. This is a woman who's hiding a lot of suffering daily and still doing all these things as much as she can and still enjoying life. I do enjoy the good moments. I do enjoy the smiles. I do enjoy the laughter. I do enjoy being blackmailed. My girl came in, she found me eating the last bit of my salad, and she told me, well, Mom, you need to share because Jesus said you must share. Many mothers have come across that. All these experiences which are so normal, I have always cherished them. I don't know if it's because I fought infertility and so I'm so aware that they're not normal and that not everyone gets to have them even though they want them. Not everyone can even adopt. I don't even know that all countries even have an adoption program. I don't know. So I know that not everyone can ever be a mother. So those little moments that are so normal, for me, they're special. And I want you to enjoy them because sometimes those are the only bright moments in my life or on that day. Days where when someone asks, how was your day today? I will say, well, it was better because today Rati didn't pull my hair. Rati didn't push me today, or she didn't throw a 40-minute tantrum, or Micaiah understood his work with only 4 explanations, something like that. That's what my day is like. There's never just all over. Everyone is going well. Everyone is understanding smoothly. It's a struggle. Everything is a struggle. Just to hold a pen is a struggle. So, therefore, the normal moments, the whatever, all mothers have their moments, are special to me. They're special because not everyone can be a mother even though they want to be a mother. Some are unemployed and therefore literally can't be a mother because what will they feed the child if they can't feed themselves? So I appreciate them as blessings. And also they are wonderful to me because they come through a child who's struggling, really struggling. Sensory-wise, the world is too much, or they can't enjoy anything because their sensory profile is so low that it needs to be super exciting for them to register that, oh, I'm meant to be having fun. Whatever we achieve is through a lot of struggle. And so I appreciate the moments. Whenever a child speaks, I'm grateful that at least they also, like me or like the other child, can communicate. When a child says something that doesn't make sense, it makes you want to cry. Because how do you get into their head to understand what they're trying to say? You can't. When they're asking you a question, you don't know what they're actually asking. So when we have a clear and short, real conversation, it's extra special to me. So this is a glimpse of our current life. Enjoy it and any other mothers or fathers out there or other caregivers who are struggling, if you're struggling more, I just hope that you do have some moments that may seem normal to others, but for you are a big deal. I'm hoping for you that you have big deal moments. I'm hoping for you that you find friends who totally get your life, be it your physical life or whatever's happening in your family, be it poverty, be it suffering physically, emotional. I hope you find someone who gets it, because being surrounded by people who don't, it really makes you feel alone, doesn't it? So here's to less feeling alone. A friend of mine and I, we suffer physically all the time. So when we check on each other, we know she's suffering. It's a matter of how bad is it today? Is there anything else that is on top of the pain, like sores on the tongue, sores in the nose? Is there anything else on top of the burden you're already bearing? That's how we are. That's how we communicate. But it's okay. And we don't get scared to ask each other, how are you? I know people who have said to me, I'm scared to ask how are you because I know you're not fine. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay for me to tell you, same old, same old. At least you asked. And also sometimes I can tell you, oh my word, it's worse. My tooth got knocked into and now I've got a cut tooth and you can relate to that part. You can still relate to me and you can still tell me your issues, but just don't exaggerate something that's small because I will not be interested. I will not be impressed. So yes, do ask how your person is, even if their life is constantly bad. It goes up, it varies. The level of badness varies. And yes, we may talk to God, but God doesn't talk back to us. Try and help someone. If you're the one who's not suffering, please try and help someone else to not feel so alone. And read up, listen to other autistics, listen to other adults with ADHD, listen to others with whatever condition your friend's child has, so you can understand and see the world through the eyes of the friend and his son. Because if you are telling the friend, oh, your son must be so lonely, you're not helping your friend. You're not helping your friend. Help him by understanding his world. See you later.
Jesus wants us to share.
Jesus wants us to share.
Yes.
So therefore, what does that mean? So what must I do?
Share me some.
Why?
Because Jesus wants us to be kind.
Jesus wants us to be kind.
Yes.
But what about my food? I'm hungry.
So eat the salad.
Okay, I must eat the salad. Are you going to eat some?
Yeah, and eat the tomato.
You'll eat a tomato. Did I say yes?
Yes. Can I eat it, please?
Yes, you may. What is she doing, Nene?
Put some stones in.
Just putting stones in the swing.
Whoa.
When I was a child, I never managed to do monkey bars, ever. I struggled and struggled, I gave up. Well done. Okay, it's going to be school time when you finish. Are you happy with yourselves? Are you happy?
Yep.
Well done, good jobs. What will you see under the sea? Does the sea live there? Oh no, it doesn't. Yes. And what letter is this?
It's A, B, C.
Yes.
A, B, C. A, B, C. What spell?
Nothing. It doesn't spell anything. It's just letters.
A, B, C. A, B, C.
Now, can you point to the uppercase A? Good job. Thank you.
Mommy, can see.
I've halted the search for a school for my angel. She's also being violent more and more. Her brother, her oldest brother, my teen son, ended up saying last week, Mom, I don't think any school could handle her. It's not only the pushing, she also wants to bite me. She grabs my hand so she can bite my hand. She grabbed my hair, he was with me, to pull my hair, and then she grabbed a knife. Now, I first thought of my word, she wants to stab me, but then she started grabbing other things and putting them in her mouth. Imagine if my child had taken that knife and put it in her mouth, and it was a sharp serrated knife. I always put knives and scissors away because I just don't know what they'll do. This was one example of why they need to be put away. Unfortunately, I don't live alone, but it's scary. Autism and what it does to some children is scary. That is the reality of our lives. We can smile, we can be proud of the swinging on the monkey bar, but at the end of the day, during each day, every day, someone has to keep watch, and someone has to try to stay safe while keeping watch. When I die, don't mourn for me.